All right, class. First off, as always, good day. I'm glad you're here. So today we're going to be looking at the rise of Rome. We've already looked at Greece, the rise and fall of Greece. We looked at Alexander the Great, and now we're going to look at Rome, how it came to be. Besides the Egyptians, Rome is another one of the most popular ancient civilizations there is. So let's go ahead and start looking to how they became the empire that they became. So, first is your warm up picture. The first question asks you, in your own words, what's happening here? All right, so look at the background, look at the foreground, look from left to right, really analyze the picture. The second question asks you, the guy on the bottom, you see with his hand kind of raised up a little bit. Um, what do you think his fate was? Do you think that he was allowed to live, or do you think he was killed? And then why do you think that? Okay, so really look around, look at especially the background, the crowd, look at the people, look at their expressions, things like that. Okay, so go ahead and write your response, but pause the video because we're moving on in three, two, one. All right, so here's the thing. Rome actually started off as a village. It was under the control of the Etruscans. Okay, um, but they were tiny. They were small, a little village, not even a city. But eventually, as time went on, they did grow and they became a city. And in 509 BC, they broke off. They basically told the Etruscans, "Hey, we'll take care of ourselves," and they, fought the Etruscans. They won their freedom, and now they're on their own. Problem is, the Etruscans had an army, things like that, so that right, pretty good army, trained, some of that. The Romans had an army, but it wasn't as trained. So now here they are by themselves amongst a bunch of other bigger places. And now they see the Romans as, well, we can conquer them now. Yeah, they got their independence, but now no one has their backs. So they start attacking Rome. And eventually, Rome fought back. They won more battles than they lost. And they started to grow and grow and grow. Now, when they conquered an area, instead of being like other places, other civilizations who would basically tell them, hey, give us all your food, give us all your water, give us all your gold, um, Rome basically said, okay, look at here's the deal. We own this area. Okay. We're going to defend it. Okay. Because again, it's ours now, but we need your help. We need your soldiers. So if you think about it, your soldiers are going to be protecting your home. So isn't that what you want? Isn't that what your soldiers want, to protect their home, protect their families? So that's what we're asking. You can keep your gold, you can keep your food, your fresh water, all that stuff. We don't want that. We just want really your loyalty and your soldiers. And a lot of places did. They gave the soldiers because that's how they saw it as well. Rome is we're under Rome's control. Um, why have our own soldiers just sitting at home? They should be defending home. And a lot of soldiers did want to, take care of their family and make sure nothing happened. So that's what they did, and they just kept growing an army. And their army got bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where they had one of the biggest armies around. And when it came to loyalty, it just came naturally because some people were just like, well, I mean, we're under their control. And I heard that if you're loyal to them, you become citizens of Rome. What do we got to lose? So places became loyal to Rome and they profited. So little towns that barely had like a dirt road connecting them, now they had a paved road, and people would travel from Rome, around Rome. Now they would go into these towns and spend money. The towns would grow bigger and things like that. So the towns profited by being loyal to Rome. Now, not every empire rolled over for Rome. Rome had become powerful, but they ran to another big giant group, which was the Carthaginians. The Carthaginians, or Carthage, they would end up being Rome's biggest enemy. Okay, the Phoenicians founded Carthage around 800 BC off the coast of North Africa. Okay, the thing is that makes Carthage unique is that by 300 they were just as big of an empire as Rome, and this when people are laying over for Rome, letting them take over areas, and Carthage is like, no, we're not going to roll over. You roll over. And the thing is, they actually all own this territory in Sicily. So if you look at the map, there's a little triangle-looking island right there. Carthage owns a good chunk of it, at least like half, a little over half. Rome owns another part of it, and Rome didn't like that. They didn't like that Carthage is right next door, you know. And so they started going at it. They're like, "Hey, give us this land." Carthage is like, "You're funny. No, no, we're not one of your little tiny villages you conquered. We're an empire." So they went at it. Okay, and there was three major battles. Actually, there was two, but one they count the last one, but it wasn't really much of a battle. But they're called the Punic Wars. So there was three of them. Okay, we're going to start with the first one in a little bit. But first, here is your question. If you were an up and coming country, let's say you're starting a country, you're growing just like Rome did, what would you ask or slash demand from smaller places around you? Would you demand or ask for their loyalty for soldiers, food, weapons, resources? Resources like trees, fresh water, things like that. Or would you ask them to help build your country? Build buildings, build roads, build canals, things like that. So, what would you ask for? Or what would you demand from them? Okay. Um, Take a minute, write your response, pause the video because we're moving on in three, two, one. All right. So, the first Punic War was actually pretty big. Rome wanted to kick Sicily out. Oh, sorry, kick Carthage out of Sicily. Sorry about that. But Carthage, they had a good army. Rome had a ton of soldiers. I mean, a ton of soldiers. And Carthage, yeah, they had an army. They were experienced. They have a cavalry, which is soldiers on horses. They were pretty good. But they had a secret weapon. And you can probably tell from the pictures right there. Yeah, they had elephants. Okay. Now, the thing is, a lot of people back then never seen an elephant, especially the Romans. Never seen an elephant. And if you have ever seen one, you know these animals, they're beautiful, but they are massive. They are huge animals. And just imagine 30 of them coming at you, you know, 15 miles an hour, just going full speed. The ground is shaking and things like that. That's intimidating if you've never seen this animal before, and here it is coming at you, trunk swinging around, things like that. People on top of it shooting arrows. It was, it was pretty intimidating, even for the Romans. So the thing is, the Carthage would fight and knock the Romans back, and then right when they think they have them, the Romans bring in reinforcements, and they're fighting back to Carthage. Carthage gets reinforcements, and they keep fighting back. So there's a stalemate for a while. Each side is just going back and forth, and it's not until the Roman basically sent a ton of soldiers. 200 warships arrive with soldiers and things like that, and they're finally able to push the Carthaginians out of Sicily. About a year later, Carthage surrenders, you know, and they have to give up Sicily. They have to give up control of surrounding islands, and they have to pay for the war, pay for the soldiers, pay for the damages, things like that. Okay, so that ends the first Punic War. So here's your next question. What do you think wins a war? Having more soldiers or having the newest weapons? What do you think? You know, having the more soldiers or having the newest weapons? What do you think wins wars? Okay, and why do you believe this? Remember, don't forget that why. The why is a big part. Okay, so pause the video, write your response, but we're moving on in 3, 2, 1. So the Second Punic War comes around. Now, here's the thing: Carthage got a new general. His name was Hannibal. So excuse me. His that's him in the gray statue. That's him right there. And he nearly conquered Rome. Nearly conquered them. What he did basically was like, here's their territory. This area is, whoever. He basically came through and then just attacked. Okay. And this surprise, quick attack caught the Romans by off guard. And he was able to push them back and back and back and back to the point where they surrounded Rome. Right. Now, Rome didn't surrender. Rome fought back. Again, he conquered all what they've taken, and they're just now all they need to do is capture Rome. That's it. And what happens is Rome realizes, you know what, our tactics he's already figured out. He knows what we're gonna do before we do it. We need new type of thinking, and that's where this guy, the other one, the other statue, he comes out. His name is Scipio Africanus. He has different tactics and he fights back against Hannibal and he starts winning. Basically, the same way Hannibal won against Rome, he does the same thing and he's able to win back all the land that Rome had lost. And even more, he pushed Hannibal back into Africa, pushed them back. And Hannibal's just like, what the heck, man? So that's what it feels like, you know, to be beaten like that. So eventually Hannibal realizes, hey, I lost. He beat me, you know. So he surrenders to Scipio. And that ends the Second Punic War. Now, here's the thing. The Third Punic War isn't even a war. It's actually a slaughter. The reason I say that is because in 146 BC, the Carthaginians are completely destroyed by the Romans. And the thing is, they weren't even fighting the Romans at the time. Rome was dealing with um, some other countries. They are fighting against the Macedonians, the Greeks, and I'm going to kill this thing, the Pergamum. Pergamum? Your guess is as good as mine. But the thing is, they're fighting these guys over here, and Carthage is back here. And so what they do is like they're fighting and fighting, fighting, and go, hold on, bah, 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 and beat up on Carthage, and then come back to fighting them. It's like, why? Why Carthage is so beat up, they're so just destroyed. Why would you turn your back and destroy them? A lot of people believe it's because Carthage still owned territory that Rome wanted. So they're like, well, might as well take it now. And so while they're fighting the Macedonians and the Greeks, they just go back and the Carthaginians completely wipe them out, take over their territory, and now they can now focus completely on the Macedonians and Greeks. So if you look at the map, that area in red, that's what Rome owned. And as you can see, they basically own the Mediterranean Sea. Nothing's going to go in, or out the Mediterranean without them saying so. You're not going to go from the Atlantic Ocean to that yellow section without them knowing. There's no way. Unless you go all the way down and around Africa and things like that, then no. Okay. All right, so here's your next question. Do you think it's wise for a country to have more than one fight going on at the same time? So, do you think, like, the United States, would you say it's wise for us to go to war with, let's say, Russia, and then at the same time go to war with, like, Britain? What do you think? Okay, so write your response, um, pause the video, but we're moving on in three, two, one. All right, so here's your exit ticket question. If Hannibal had won the Second Punic War, do you think Rome would have recovered, or do you think they'd be lost in history like the Carthaginians are? What do you think? Remember, a lot of places around were loyal to Rome, so maybe the possibility of them, you know, coming up and, you know, trying to like destroy the Carthaginians, a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there. Or do you think no, Carthage was too strong, Hannibal was too smart, and basically Rome would have been Carthage, just talked about and not really learned about because again they were completely destroyed. Okay, so write your response. Right, um, once you're finished, you're done with this lesson. Hopefully you learned something new. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Okay, so you guys take care. You be safe, and I'll see you later. All right.